Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Mistakes Were Made. It is kind of early in the morning. It's before my shift for work. Normally, when I do my videos, I do them at night. It's usually getting on into, 11, midnight, things like that. But I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just this is the season, but things have just been very out of sorts, discombobulated, out of order. So I am very late in getting this done. In fact, we usually do our grocery shopping on Thursdays. Today is Friday, so I absolutely needed to get this done so that we had the weekly money for our grocery shopping trip that we're going to be doing today. So anyway, after all of that, let's get going and we will see what we have for our first cash stuffing for December. Now this is during our first pay period, which is December 1st through the 15th. All right, what are we working with? 100, 200, 300, 400. Scooch that in just a little bit more. 50, 500. 20, 40, 60, 80, 600, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 5, 700, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have $708 that we are working with right now. Okay, if you are new to our channel, first of all, thank you for clicking on it to see what we have going on. We keep all of our cash envelopes in here. We do not cash stuff every single category each pay period. We do have a few things that we do both pay periods, but for the most part, we'll have some that we'll do during pay period 1, which is this time period, and some that we will do in pay period 2, which is the 16th through the 30th or 31st, depending on the month. So AAA is not one that we do this pay period. Neither is birthdays, but car maintenance definitely is, and it gets $100. Oops. There we go. Now this is going to be coming up in the new year, especially a kind of car maintenance heavy time period. I need to take my car in. I probably should have done it like 3 months ago. If you go by the every 3 months you should do it, but since I don't drive nearly as much, I've been more looking at the actual mileage number that they gave me as to when I need to bring my car in. So we'll do it either towards the end of this month or more likely in the beginning of next year. So there's going to be some kind of cost to that. Hopefully it's just going to be oil change, but you never know what might be going on. I can guarantee you this though, it will not be a cabin filter or an engine filter change, because we have learned we can do those ourselves and save ourselves like $400. Now that said, Mr. M also, he needed to take his car in and get new tags. So some money will be coming out for that. He needs new tires. That's going to be a little bit more of a cost. So, we will probably have to bulk this up just a smidge before we do that. I need to check. We're going to 2025. I might need to get my car tags done this February as well. So that'll be another $200 and something. But that's down the road. We have a good amount in here. Let's see what it is. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, plus 500 that we have put in the bank. So we are sitting at $1,000 for car maintenance, which I think is not too shabby. What is today? Oh, it's the 6th. So we're at $1,000. I haven't been keeping up on this part. Now, very likely Mr. M's tires are going to be something in the anywhere between $500 and $700 range. So that will wipe out a good chunk of this. Typically, even if I'm just getting an oil change, it's been about $100 for my car, so there's $100 there. His tags were like $225 or so, so you know, there's that, and I'm expecting mine to be around $200-ish too. So as nice as it is that we have this chunk of money, it's looking like it's going to be whittled away rather quickly in the coming months, but that's okay. The important part is we have the money here, and we should be, for the most part, able to cover all of those costs. Okay, I don't know. Oh, there it is. I was like, I don't know what I did with my envelope. Let me tell you, I woke up today at 5:30 in the morning. I am not a morning person, so might be slower than usual right now. Okay, next is Christmas. Now, this gets $12, and I've mentioned previously that we definitely woefully underestimated how much we would need for Christmas this year. So going into 2025, we are going to be making some changes. I think we determined we need roughly $50 per month, so we will be doing $25 per pay period. This is one that we do during both pay periods, so that will increase some of our budget. 2025 is starting to look like it's going to be a fairly expensive year. Just in general, we have definitely some new costs that are going to be coming in. I'll discuss some more of those a little later. But, you know, it seems like you eliminate some things from your budget as far as costs are concerned. Like, for example, we were able to pay off our last shared credit card, and yet life loves to fill a void. And so there's more things that come into play. But, you know, that's okay. We are here to roll with the punches and make things work. Okay, so what do we have here? We've got 50, 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. $166. Now, if you saw our last one of these, you know we were at higher than that. But we have, in fact, been doing Christmas shopping, and we are, I would say, let's see, I think we're halfway done. We have 4 more people that we need to get things for. We will probably, you know, be a little light, like I said, in the costs department for what we have, but we have a couple of plans. One of them is to shift money from another category in here to help augment, and you know, if it has to be, it has to be. We will end up reducing the amount of money we have at the end of the pay period by, you know, hopefully only a small amount if needed to also help pay for costs. Clothing does not get done this pay period, but dining out and entertainment both do, and they both get $50, sorry. Now these, we are very diligent about clearing each month. These do get filled just once a month, so this $50 for each of them is for the entire month of December. At some point, I expect we'll probably increase the allotment here, but honestly, I would really like us to get to a point where we are only worrying, as far as debt is concerned, about the mortgage before we go that route. Additionally, there's other concerns to be considered: investing, additional savings. So, you know, that's all going to be a conversation that we're going to have when we get to that point. I do feel like in the context of debt reduction, et cetera, that $100 a month, which, you know, even if we are breaking it up between dining out and entertainment, that's what it tends to come to, seems like a reasonable amount. But as anybody knows that's gone out to do anything outside of the home, it doesn't go very far. So, but that said, you know, it's been worth the positives of having a limited amount for outside entertainment. And I know and I appreciate that what we have budgeted for this is more than some other folks are able to. So no complaints here. All right, garden and yard. I have actually dipped into this recently because there was something, add-on that I wanted for my green stocks. Oh, no, we won't do it. We will do 25 like this. That I have decided to get myself for Christmas, but we are taking it out of garden yard because it is also a garden item. I'm hoping that it will actually work the way that they have indicated, and maybe I'll do a little unboxing for that at some point. But garden and yard is something that we are going to start looking at a little bit more closely as we get into the new year, because we are going to have to start setting money aside to pay for the gardening season, just like we did last year. We don't want to have unfettered spending, and we want to make sure we're being smart about how we are spending our money. So that's why we are going to create a gardening budget and go from there. But for now, we have $25, $26, $27, $28. And, oh, okay. It looks like I didn't write down an amount for November, so I don't know what happened there. Today's the 6th, and we said we had 28. That's, I must have just stuffed and ran. Okay. Now gas, we do $100 as well. Now this is one that gets funded each pay period. So it is also one that we don't roll money over. That's why there isn't something to keep track of the spending. So $100 for gas. Gifts, we do not fund, but we are using the money that is in here and that we will continue to fund, because we'll have one more funding at the end of the pay, or in the second pay period. And this is going to go to Christmas as well. So that's one of our ways to augment our mistake in not calculating things properly. Now giving, we have $5 for giving. We have done a little bit of giving this season already, so I'm happy about that. Just simple little donations of cash that, you know, I don't know that it's, I'm super excited about it. I really wanted to do something that I felt would be the most impactful for person receiving it, but in the moment, it was one of those things where, you know, you can just put some money in a little container for something. Not like the bell ringer people. I don't think I've seen any of them out just yet. And so, you know, I did $5 here, $5 there. These last $15, which is how much we have, I'm really hoping that I can find like a giving tree and do some kind of like toy thing or something like that for a kid. It's not a lot, but hopefully it'll be helpful for somebody. groceries. The reason we needed to get this done ASAP. We've got $300 because this month there are 5 Mondays, and we fund based on how many Mondays, and the first 3 Mondays fall within the first pay period. So $300. Okay. Oh, come on now. There we go. Okay, and then health gets $10. Now here's an area where we are going to be not very excited because as some of you know, my work is not, let's see, yeah, 10/25, going to be offering health and welfare benefits. So I've been on the marketplace looking for health insurance. I have, I think, settled on which one I'm going to pick. Very not excited about it at all. It's going to be about $400 and I want to say $12, $420, $25. I can't exactly remember. I'll have to look at it again. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. I have to do it by December 15th though, to make sure that I have health insurance starting at the beginning of the year. But you know, I'm not super keen about it. It is one of the ones, you know, a high deductible one. But the way I looked at it was the things that I am anticipating I'm going to need to use my health benefit for, my diabetes, etc. Those should get benefits even if I haven't met my deductible. At least that's what the paperwork showed for the particular plan I was looking at, and actually multiple plans that I looked at had that in there because it's I think a preventative or a maintenance thing. So I'm hoping that I will not just have the benefit of paying $400+ a month, as well as the benefit of paying for all of my health costs anyway, because the deductible is going to be super high. But that those those costs pre-deductible won't be too high because they will be related to, you know, my insulin or, you know, just diabetes care stuff. So we'll see what it all turns out to be. I really don't know what to expect other than we are absolutely going to have more costs than we had initially expected because I'm going to have to carry, you know, my own health insurance, and it's not something that's coming out of my pay, you know, through work and et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, I guess in the long run, if they hadn't offered us health care without any cost to us this current year, me paying $400+ wouldn't be that big of a difference from them taking money out of my paycheck. I mean, yes, it would be pre-tax, so you know there's a little bit of benefit there, but prior to this year, I have paid for my insurance. We had premiums that came out of our paycheck. It was just this year that we didn't. So we're kind of we're going back to that, except it's a little bit more costly and a little bit more immediate because it's, you know, my responsibility to pay the bill whenever it comes. So it is what it is, and we will make adjustments in the new year as we need to absorb, you know, this cost. It will certainly have an effect on how well and how quickly we can pay off our additional debts, but life is what life is. All right, household is going to get $25. Okay, come on. This isn't open, that's the problem. So we'll update that. 12, 6, $25. Oops. That's getting all crunchy. There we go. Come on now. Okay. $55. License and fees. I'm pretty sure we still need to fund. Yeah, we're at 186. License and fees gets $11. And I believe this is one that does get funded twice in a month. So I think next month may be, our next payment may be the last one that we need to do for the year. So let's see, we've got 50, 70, 80, 90, 100, 10, 20, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 96, 196, oh, $197. So our goal is to get to 200. We are $3 off. So the next time we do our next $11, that'll put us over our limit, and that'll mean we are done for the pay period. Well, we'll be done for the year. Now, the fees that this is going to pay, they don't get paid until March. So what we'll probably do is we will keep the $11 per pay period cost in our cash stuffing, but those dollars will go and forward fund some other envelopes. And then once we have the cost come out in March, we will start funding this again. So yeah, so next pay period we will be done, and that'll be nice to have something fully funded. Miscellaneous gets nothing right now. Pets, oh my gosh. So Mr. Gus had his appointment. I forgot to ask Mr. M how much it actually cost. So I need to figure out what that is. They want, because he has a heart murmur, they want him to do all sorts of other tests to the tune of another $450. We told them, you know what, we got to think about that. It's right now that is not in our budget, so we'll get back to you on that. Our black lab, Nyx, she needs to go in and get her rabies shots and her license renewal, so that's another cost coming up. That shouldn't be too expensive. I think maybe about $100, 100 something. Plus we have our Chewy order that has just come through. So next pay period is when this gets paid into, and we'll already probably have wiped that out with these costs that are coming in right now. So yeah, it's been interesting to say the least. All right, Prime, as I recall, oh no, we do not fund this, so we are gonna ignore that. Taxes, however, taxes gets $20, and because we've had, you know, kind of a good last few weeks again, we have tipped my calculation of how much I need for taxes into the red. So that means we are going to have to put this $20 in to play to cover the presumed tax costs for income from my Etsy shop. So we've got, plus we also are including the cost for like TurboTax stuff, like, you know, tax software in here. I have already purchased it. It was on sale because of Cyber Monday, and much cheaper than I would have gotten it when they do their normal sales of like $15 off or $20 off. So 120, 40, 60, 80, 220, 40, 60, 80, 90, 300, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32. What happened? Oh, because I took money out for the tax software. Oh my goodness. I was like, where did our money go? Okay, 332. 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 300, 10, 15, 20, 25, 32. Okay, 332 is where we're at. Now, again, and I've said this before when we talked about, this whole process, December is going to be the last month that we fund for the year. And so whatever we have in here, I'll just paperclip it as a 2024 funding so that when we go to do our taxes, that's where we'll pull our money from, if it's even needed. I don't know if I will need to pay into, federal or state taxes. It could be that my business costs and just my general costs, the itemizing stuff and all of that, it may turn out that I have paid more in than I needed to already, and so we'll actually either be even or I'll get a refund, in which case this money will then probably backfill something here, most likely pets, but starting in January, any income that we make in the calculation that I need to do for taxes, that will be put in a separate bundle for when we do our 2025 taxes in 2026. Hopefully that makes sense. Excuse me. Anyway, so that's where we are for taxes. Savings we don't do anything for. Last but not least, we've got our yard cleanup. And let's, fill in one of these little, oh my goodness. These little coins, which are worth $100. And so we've got 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, $800 going towards the yard cleanup goal. The goal right now is $2,500, so we've got a little ways to go. But as I said earlier, we're going to have to start looking at the garden budget. So what we will do is, once again, we will shift away from this for the $100 auto transfer that we do each pay period, and we will fund the garden budget that way. And then once we've reached our budget goal, which will probably be $500 like it was last year, we will then shift back to here and start funding this once more. I'll be very excited once we get to $1,000, because then we'll have made, a pretty decent ways forward. But it's a slow and steady kind of goal, and that's what we're doing. We're slowly and steadily making it forward. So that is for yard cleanup. Not fancy, but it works for us. Okay. And this is just all random junk stuff that goes in the back. All right, so that is it. We have now stuffed our $708. I hope that was interesting. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know that cash stuffing is all that exciting. I know it was something that was very, very popular in the past, but I don't know that it's quite as popular anymore. And it could also be that I'm a very boring cash stuffer, which is just fine, because the whole goal is for us to cash stuff our monies and try to be in a position to be able to afford costs when they come through. We've been moderately successful so far, but obviously we've had some areas where we have fallen, pets in particular, Christmas being a little light. So those are all learning experiences, and hopefully in the future we will do just a little bit better. So on that note, thank you so much for watching. If you have any feedback, comments, or questions, please note those down below. I've got a cat chewing on a box behind me. So on that note, I need to start getting ready to start work, and I hope we'll see you in the next one.